That is Port Mansfield, Texas. It is a cool little place on the Texas coast. Now, what it does not have is a police department or a gas station. But what it does have are a lot of bait stores, some restaurants, some lodges, places to stay, and some of the very best inshore saltwater game fishing on the entire Gulf of Mexico. Come experience some of that with us in the next half hour. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southeast region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
All right, we are in the water and ready to rock. Hey, it's been about 20 years since I've been to Port Mansfield, Texas, and I had forgotten what a gorgeous place this is. I am really excited about today, and I'm glad you're along with us. We're going to try to go out and catch the Port Mansfield Grand Slam, consisting of a redfish, speckled trout, and a flounder, all in the same day. I'm not sure how we're going to do it. We've got the help of Steve Ellis, an expert guide, to give us a little information. While we're doing that, we take you around the region for your latest fishing reports from our team of insider reporters from your local lakes, rivers, and bays. Right now, I'm going to get this Mako 21 LTS out of this bay, up toward the land cut. We take you back to the FSN studios for your weekend planner. Hey, let's get this thing going right now.
Hi everybody, a check of the Salooner tables shows fair game fish activity on lakes for this weekend. Top daylight times will start in the mornings at 8:27 on Saturday and 9:21 on Sunday. The sun will rise at 7:03 and set at 5:23. And we'll have a waxing moon that is 77% visible. Stay with us for all of your fishing updates from around the region. Plus, I'll return with crappie angler Wally Marshall on this week's Ask the Pro. Back in a bit.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than just a boat, it's a tracker. By Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there. By Mercury Marine, official outboard of Fox Sports Outdoors. And by Lowrance Electronics, find, navigate, dominate.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It's morning here at Port Mansfield, Texas, and we made the long run about 20 miles or so north out of Port Mansfield to the land cut. We were in search of the first of our 3 Grand Slam species, the redfish. Now we put the trolling motor down and started cruising down the shoreline of the land cut looking for tailing redfish that are feeding with their tail out of the water. And the first thing we saw was a tail. I made a perfect cast close to that fish, started reeling that little plastic swim bait by him, and he just swam over and attacked it. And you're beginning to see now some of this fight. We had to take our time and wear this fish down. We were using the new Lew's Inshore Bait Cast Reel series, and I backed off on the star drag so that every time this fish made a run, he could strip that drag, and he did it 3, 4, 5 times before we finally started wearing this fish down. We had 14-pound test Stren fluorocast line. We use this really clear line in this really clear water, and that's very important when you're sight fishing what could be a real spooky redfish. We'll let it pick up from there and show you exactly what happened. And he's starting to get tired. Got him. All right, here we go. That's what I came to Port Mansfield to do right here. There's my redfish for you right there. Beautiful fish, good quality fish for this fishery right here, and a perfect tailing shot. Looked up there, saw that tail, and got a good cast on him, and he gave me a great fight. If you wanted to keep one, you could keep some and have black and red fish. But we're gonna tail him a little bit right here. Make sure he's got plenty of oxygen in his gills. He's ready to go, and away he goes. All right, while I get re-rigged and take a heart pill, you get some fishing reports from your local area.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's Tennessee and Kentucky Fishing Report. You know, we're full-blown fall in this region right now. The water temperatures throughout most of the region are anywhere from the low 60s to the high 50s, and that's pretty ideal. It's got the fish eating, the bait are really on the move, and with that being said, that's kind of the key right now. I don't care what you're fishing for, look for bait fish activity. Shallow main lake flats and creek bays, pockets, you know, whatever you want to call them. The flat areas in the backs of creeks or the little pockets off to the side. The birds are kind of a giveaway where the bait is, and so are just surface activity. You know, just look around, carry your binoculars in your boat, and just look for them. When you find them, if you're bass fishing, here's the deal. Topwater baits, shallow crankbaits, spinner baits, swim baits, but perhaps most importantly, a lipless crankbait this time of year is the ticket. If you're crappie fishing, they're shallow right now too. There's some guys that are catching some on those little creek transition areas, those little drop-offs. Most of the big fish right now are coming shallow. And with that being said, I'm talking stake beds and brush piles and treetops and shallow water. Never too far from deep water, but shallow water. Guys, it's beautiful out here right now. You'll never find a more pretty or more scenic time to be on the water in Tennessee, Kentucky, and we sure love to see you. God bless.
Look at this right here. There's a stingray grubbing along, and he's got a trout right behind him, right here. Got him. All right. Wow, is that not awesome or what? Not a big trout, but that just shows you what we can do here. All right, we're coming back to South Padre, but that just shows you some sight fishing action right there. You just look, see what you can see, make a cast, and they are aggressive, and they run up, and they snare it. We'll be right back. Got him, swimming at the boat. Flounder, here he comes. Nice flounder. Look at that, got him. All right. We're up in the land cut today, fishing for whatever will bite. And there's a good flounder for you right there. Beautiful fish. And as you saw, I'm gonna slide over here so I can show you. See that shack right there with the dock in front of it? That's exactly where that fish was laying, right off the corner of that shack. Prime cover for flounder. Guide Steve Ellis told us this morning before we left the dock that if you come up here and fish around every one of these shacks up here, your chances of catching flounder are good. It's kind of a mixed bag up here. You never know what's gonna bite, but you throw the little lead jig head with the plastic shrimp tail on the back of it, and you've got a great chance of just catching something, which is great for saltwater. But this land cut is one of the most fertile fisheries you can possibly imagine. Now, the old Redfish Bay, just the big bay between here and Port Mansfield, is excellent as well. I mean, we're here on a full moon, and that's death. The fish tend to move off the flats during the daytime. They feed at night during the full moon. So they come off the flats and pull back in the deeper water. So we're fishing the edge of the intercoastal waterway, the land cut here. We've got a great day going right here, catching all kinds of stuff. Beautiful place to fish as well. Hey, it's time for more fishing reports. Good news for you. See what's biting in your neck of the woods.
Hey folks, Captain D here with your Carolinas report, this week brought to you by Marshall's Marine, located in Lake City and Georgetown, South Carolina. We're your bass boat leader since 1969, and for all your nitro and bass tracker needs, visit www.marshallsmarine.com. I tell you what, I've been stuck in the saltwater side of things lately, and I've heard it from some of you, but we are on the freshwater. I'm at the Sanpet River here in Georgetown, right at the Carroll Campbell Complex, where we're going to be hosting the Elite Bass Series in Georgetown County in 2016. It's a great fishery here, and with accessibility of saltwater and freshwater from this landing. Also in the freshwater side of things, let's talk about how crappie things are in the Carolinas, and I mean that in a great way. Crappie bite is incredible. From Lake Norman down to Lake Murray, Lake Watery, CMT Cooper system. Get on top of those brush piles that you like to call home this time of the year, and so do the crappie. Live bait or a jig, fish vertically right on top of these, and you're going to have a great day catching large numbers of crappie, and you're going to get a good meal out of that. Also, the striped bass fishery continues to be incredible. From Strom-Thurmond Lake up to Lake Russell, I'm starting to hear of some real big fish. 30-pounders coming. Live bait on planing boards fished in your favorite area. Following those bait, and you're going to have a great time. Also, the largemouths are moving into that fall pattern. Look for all that bait to be out there. They're going to be drop shotting and some shaky heads on top of those bait, and you're going to have a great time with the largemouth. And as always, remember, fish smarter, not harder. Keep your chaos organized.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Buy Lose, setting a new standard of fishing performance. Feel the difference. by Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. And by Stren Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability.
Got him. Trout, look at this. All right, that's a keeper, no giant, but there we go. Specker trout right there, there's a good one. Just a decent sized keeper trout. I want to show you something here. Let me drive my trolling motor up. Welcome back everybody, Port Mansfield up at the land cut. Right now what I've done is switch patterns a little bit, something else that Captain Steve told me to fish. I want you to look right here. You can see basically two black grass strips. The first one's up there real shallow, the second one's out here a little deeper. This is the actual drop of the land cut. So you can fish the shacks, as you saw, and fish around the piers and pilings. You can fish the flat side of the land cut, sight casting for those redfish, and you saw us catch a good redfish. But you can also just go along here and fish the drop, or the edge of this land cut. And again, you can see the black strip in the white sand right here. That's the drop off. And that's where you can catch sometimes a really good speckled trout. Now this one's not great. He's just he would be a keeper, but we're not keeping him today. So I'm just gonna let the wind kind of move me along here, drift along this flat. That's what we'll do. See if we can pick up some trout. Time for you some more fishing reports. Fish the drops, catch you some trout.
You know, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Cold mornings, good hunting buddies, loyal dogs, and dependable equipment have made duck hunting a lifelong passion for me and many other hunters too. Mojo, it's like hunting with an old friend. Well, spotted sea trout fishing has really kicked off strong up there near Savannah. Captain Brad Stewart on Tybee Island tells me that he's catching lots of limits of trout. These are nice fish, 2 to 4 pounds. He had one day recently where he and his clients caught 45 fish in just 2 hours of fishing. Most of these fish are coming on live shrimp, fish with popping corks, or with voodoo shrimp. Some of the prime areas have been Salt Pond area, around Wausau Island, and also the Wilmington River. He also says that there's great fishing for bull redfish still within 3 miles of shore. These fish are on the beaches and the shoal areas around Williamson Island and also Wausau Island. The fish are taking cut mullet and menhaden cut baits in 6 to 10 feet of water. And he also says that the flounder fishing has been good when he targets those fish. These are nice flounder, 2 to 5 pounds. And he's catching those fish with mud minnows and popping cork. Flounder he's targeting during low tide in the south channel of the Savannah River and also in Warsaw Sound. In Mississippi, Danny Patalo at Glorin Flows near Biloxi says that the offshore fishing for wahoo has been great. It's way offshore and you got to pick your days. It's 60 to 65 miles out there, but some of these wahoo are going 40 to 45 pounds. There's also some big yellowfins out there up to 80 pounds. Danny says when the wind's blowing, try that Biloxi Marsh where the trout fishing has been great for fishing the 2 to 4 pound class.
This week's Freshwater Report is brought to you by Old Marco Inn Island and Suites, offering accommodations, fine dining, and shopping in a historic setting. Your gateway to water sports and adventure. Come enjoy the warm sun of Marco Island in southwest Florida. www.oldmarcoinn.com. Now, as the fall continues to set in, a variety of fish species are feeding heavily, getting ready for the lean winter to come. On southwest Mississippi's Simpson County Lake, this means the crappie action is good. In fact, it is very good for such a small lake. This 76-acre state fishing lake has a huge population of golden shiners, and this gives the crappie plenty of forage. You have both black and white crappie present, and this lake gives up some 2.5 to 3 pound slabs each year. The best tactic is to fish a live minnow or a small crankbait around the fish attractors that are about 30 yards offshore from the dam, or you can try the ones around the fishing pier. Now in Middle Georgia, largemouth bass are biting on 1,400-acre Lake Tobosoffke. With the cooler weather, there's fewer boats on this popular impoundment, and this makes the bass less spooky. Tossing crankbaits to visible cover like down trees is the best tactic. The smallmouth bass are biting right now on the upper end of Wilson Lake on the Tennessee River in North Alabama. You want to concentrate your attention on the current breaks in the tail race just below Wheeler Dam for the most action.
There's 3 trout right here on a a little black spot here, a little piece of grass. See if I can get a shot in front of, got him. Not a big one, but he's a trout. All right, that was cool. We actually saw the live shot right there. This is some of the most heart-pounding, exciting fishing you can possibly do up here because you're fishing all these shallow flats and shallow water, and you're actually seeing the fish. And the cool thing about it is these fish are aggressive. They're mad. They are not happy ducks. And when that goes hopping by that, he just runs over and eats it, and you can watch him do it. What an incredibly fun thing to do. You saw it live right there. I just looked up there, 3 of them, and his tail was actually up out of the water. So he was feeding in a little grass bed, eating some little shrimp and some little ghost minnows. And that was really cool. He just immediately swam over and sucked that in. What a great fish right there. Back he goes. All right, so you need good sunglasses if you're gonna come here, by the way. Everybody wears Costas down here. These are 580 glass lenses. They come in all different shades depending on if there's clouds or sun. But you just go along these banks with the trolling motor and look in the water. And once you kind of get acclimated to what you're looking for those black tails on the trout, and then you're looking for that red glow in the water for the redfish or the tail sticking up, and it is such a blast.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Exide AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. By Motor Guide Trolling Motors, introducing the XI5 for ultimate boat control. And by Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time now for the Ask the Pro question, your chance for advice from professional anglers. This week, Clay writes, can you please show me how to tie a loop knot for a crappie jig? For some help, we asked Mr. Crappie Wally Marshall to show us how.
You talking about loop knots? That's all I've ever tied my entire career in crappie fishing. The loop knot is a great knot. The knot won't break, the line will break before the knot breaks. What I like to do is take the line, run it through the eye of the hook, then take your thumb and index fingers, put them together, stick out your middle finger, take your lines and run around your middle finger back to the loop, and then it makes a loop in between your fingers. Put the lure down through there 3 times, just like this right here. Then what you're gonna do is grab the lure by the head and also let go of the loop with your middle finger, pinch the line right next to the eye of the hook. Then take your main line and your staging and just pull. And it makes that loop knot, and your lure always sets up perfectly for crappie fishing.
Thank you, Wally. If you have a question to ask one of the pros, go to our website, follow the Ask the Pro link, and send us your information. Now let's find out which big fish picture wins someone a brand new pair of Costa sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
Each week here on the show, someone wins a free pair of Costa sunglasses, the Costa Catch of the Week contest. This week's winner is David Hall of Piedmont, South Carolina, showing a monster 30-pound striped bass he caught at Clarks Hill Reservoir in South Carolina. If you'd like to enter the contest, go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com, click on the Costa Catch of the Week box, follow the instructions, send us your photo, and you could be our next winner. If you'd like to see all of the Costa frame and lens styles, go back to the front page, click on the Costa logo, and it'll take you straight to their website. You can see everything there, including the great frame style that I was wearing on this week's episode. It's called Caballito. I had the 580p lenses. Next up on the Academy Right Stuff, I've got the greatest gear imaginable to go out and do this kind of fishing with, beginning with the Mako 21 LTS saltwater skiff. Got it rigged right on the bow with the Motor Guide XI5 Wi-Fi trolling motor that I control with my remote here around my neck. Then on the bow and at the console, I've got the Lowrance HDS 12-inch unit on the console, 9-inch unit on the bow, and these are the Gen 3, the latest units that do everything you can imagine. Then on the very back of the boat, I've got the Mercury 4-stroke outboard engine. That's a 150 4-stroke. It is super quiet, super fuel efficient, very smooth running, everything you could possibly imagine to power this rig in saltwater, the beautiful Mercury 4-stroke 150. As far as the rods and reels go, these are the Lew's Inshore Custom Series. They're specially built for inshore saltwater fishing. I've got the spinning rod rigged up with the Lew's Speed Spin inshore spinning reel, and got the bait caster rigged up with the Lew's Speed Spool inshore saltwater bait cast reel, specially made for saltwater conditions like these. As far as the lures go, you can see there I simply use lead painted jig heads, 3/16 or 1/4 ounce size. As far as the plastic bodies, a little shrimp tail body or a little swim body work perfectly, and those are the colors I caught the fish on today. If you watch our show a lot, you know that I'm a big fan of Dave Ramsey. He has radio and television shows nationwide, and he teaches basic financial principles. One of the foundations of what he teaches is that every person should have a $1,000 emergency fund set aside in a separate account where you won't touch it unless there is some kind of a major emergency, like a medical emergency, your car breaks down, something like that. You beg, borrow, do whatever you have to do, work extra hours, sell something to save that $1,000 emergency fund. What that does is it keeps you from sliding that credit card and going into debt every time something happens. So I would highly advise that you do what I've done. Set that emergency fund aside. If you ever have to dip into it, the first thing you do after you're past the crisis is put that money back, keep the $1,000, stay out of debt. I hope you enjoyed our trip today to Port Mansfield, Texas. We stayed at the beautiful Getaway Adventures Lodge. It is everything you could possibly want in a place to stay right on the water. It's got fishing guides, food, great place to sleep, great rooms, great accommodations, everything you could possibly want. All their contact information is up on your screen right now. And if you want to book a guide, call my friend Steve Ellis. He'll get you out there, catch some of the fish like you saw us catching on this week's show. Hey, don't forget, we'll be on next Thursday at our regular time of 6 p.m. with a repeat airing Sunday morning at 8:30. And you can always catch our latest episode on the front page of our newly designed mobile-friendly website. It'll resize correctly whether you're looking at it on an iPhone, Android device, tablet, or full-size desktop PC. And you can always see the past episodes of our show by clicking the archive button just below that. And you can go back to the front page, click on the how-to button to see lots of product and how-to videos that we don't have time for here on the television show. Be sure and follow us on our Twitter feed for lots of fishing news, information, pictures, and videos that you'll never see here on the television show, and like us on our Facebook page. From beautiful Port Mansfield, Texas, until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.